So I always go back and forth on which video to upload first, my worst books of the year or my best books of the year. But I decided to save the best books of the year last because I'm cliche like that. Hi everyone, my name is Holly, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the worst books that I read in 2018. For those of you who have followed me for a hot second know that I have a very complex relationship when it comes to some pretty hyped books. Unpopular opinions you hate, I debate. While some of these books have some noteworthy positives, like really tiny ones, such as unique writing style or pretty covers, they also miss the mark for me in a number of ways. So let's just rip the band-aid right off, no warning. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. That was me ducking because you just threw a shoe at me. Also, I should mention that I don't keep books that I don't like, so I have long since unhauled all of these books, except for one. My main problem with this very cult-loved book is the plot, or absence of it anyways, because there is no plot. And Jamie Fraser, oh what a whiny annoying character. Okay, actually this book started out pretty okay. We're following a woman named Claire who is married to this guy, and they are on a honeymoon out in the country of Scotland, and they're basically reconnecting because they have been long since separated because of World War II. I was really enjoying the setup, and honestly it wasn't until Jamie Fraser entered the story that I wanted to throw this freaking book across the room. Like, I just can't get over the fact that Claire is married and she gets transported into this world, and not a week has gone by and she tells Jamie Fraser that she is a widow. Like, I am huge on loyalty, and this was just so stupid to me. And Jamie is an abuser. There's literally a scene in this book where Jamie is beating Claire with a leather strap, and the people in the same building the next day tell Claire that it sounded like she was being murdered. Like, she was screaming that loud, getting beaten by this man. I don't find this okay at all. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can ever justify this kind of abuse. Not the time period, not the attitude of, oh, everyone be everyone in this time period. Okay, sure, but then why is this character Jamie someone that everyone swoons about? We should all be hating him. Like, this book literally developed a whole new level of hatred for me. The second worst book that I read was Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. So earlier this year, a force possessed me, and I was eager to start this book, and it literally started downhill for me immediately. I had the Alcrate exclusive edition, hence the cover of this picture here, and it literally scarred me of ever buying a contemporary subscription box ever again. I just really wanted that Percy Jackson item that they teased, okay? I highly dislike contemporary because of the drama that is like the main drive for most of the plot, and this was solely based on female drama that didn't even need to exist. The drama starts because of the main character who is at a party and she needs to go to the bathroom, and she eavesdrops, and I'm high-key quoting this word because no, this girl just needed to pee, on two other girls who decided to have a juicy conversation right in front of this bathroom door. So one of these girls decides that she wants to ruin the main character's life, all because she had a full bladder. One of the main things I don't like about contemporary is the language, and it could be because I'm in my 20s, but even teenagers that I know do not talk like this. You guys should check out the Hello Fellow Kids subreddit because this book belongs there. I don't know, this book was just so full of petty characters, and everyone was so cruel to each other for no reason, and just no. The next book is Mirage by Somia Dowd. This is a new YA sci-fi release that came out a few months ago, and I was not impressed by it in the slightest. Plot-wise, nothing happened. Our main character, Amani, gets kidnapped. She then falls insta-love with a character, and then it's literally hundreds of pages of pretty dress descriptions. And the synopsis promises Amani becoming the spy for the Empire, and it was just so boring and so lackluster. There weren't any explanations for any major plot points, like Amani looks like the princess, like they almost look like identical twins, and there is no explanation for that at all. It keeps getting mentioned throughout the story, but even by the end, no one knows why. Another book that just was not for me, unfortunately. The next book that I did not like this year was Rat Queens Volume 5. Now, I have been a longtime fan of Rat Queens since the very beginning. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding the author and the artists, but I have always loved the story for what it was. But this volume was a clusterfork. Okay, let's take a step back. So Volume 3's plotline went in a very different direction, a direction that I actually enjoyed, and I was excited to see the continuation of. A big change happens to one of the main characters at the end of that volume. Well, then Volume 4 comes around and it completely dismisses everything that happened in Volume 3. But okay, whatever. I actually really enjoyed Volume 4. I felt like the story just went back to its roots of Volume 1 and I really liked it. Then this volume came out, Volume 5, and it was supposed to be a soft reboot to the story. And it tried so hard to reconnect to what happened in Volume 3, but there were some super weird time paradoxes that did not make sense. The story was just all over the place, and I'm so sad about it because the artwork is gorgeous. The only way that I feel like this graphic novel series can become successful again is if it just went back to its roots, where we're following these characters going on quests and getting plastered, and just like a normal adventure series. That's all I want. Maybe Volume 6 will reconnect that to me again. The next book I have here is actually not a cult favorite. It's actually kind of random, but that is The Oddling Prince by Nancy Springer. Now, I think it's perfectly okay to either love or hate a book. Obviously, we have our own opinions, but there are some positive reviews for this book that absolutely grind my gears. They say that the people who hate this book just don't understand fine literature. Like, get off your elitist chair. This book was not bubbles and confetti. This is a YA fantasy following a male protagonist, which I was very happy about. You do not see that ever in YA fantasy. And he is a prince to a kingdom in northern Scotland, and unfortunately his father is dying because of a magical ring around his finger, but randomly a fae appears and takes the ring off and saves his father. The story definitely reads like an old-timey fairy tale that becomes very clear the moment you start it, but what also becomes very clear is the very clunky writing. I actually kept stumbling over my words. This definitely isn't buttery writing, it's more like having sand in your mouth. All in all, there was just something about this book that I could not connect with at all. I didn't like the story, I didn't like any of the characters, which led it to being one of the worst books I read. The next book that I really didn't like, and I actually have a copy of this one, that is the Mortal Instruments, a graphic novel edition by Cassandra Clare and art by Cassandra Jean. Now, I feel like my relationship with the Cassandra Clare books is teetering on the edge of a breakup. If we had a Facebook status, it would say it's complicated. I read the Mortal Instruments a few years ago, and when I read them at the time, I loved them, but honestly, I feel like if I were to read them today, I wouldn't enjoy them that much. And this graphic novel did not help any. The plot was freaking all over the place. It was very disjointed. Nothing made sense. There was very important info left out. And I kind of hate the artwork, to be honest. I don't find it flattering at all. I find all the characters look the same. In fact, I was like halfway through this book when I realized I had two main characters mixed up. It was just all around a very bad adaptation. And the final book on my list is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. So this one is so disappointing, and I'm so sad it's on this list because I really enjoyed The Darkest Minds, and the sequel was such a disappointment. Honestly, I think Ruby, the main character, ruined this book for me. She was just so dumb and made the stupidest decisions. They made no sense, and she wouldn't learn from her mistakes. And this book dragged so much. The same things kept happening over and over again. Ruby and her friends would escape, and then there would be a fight scene, and then they would get captured, and then they would escape again, and it was just rinse and repeat. I actually will not be continuing this series, which is, again, just breaks my freaking heart. but I am keeping the first book, and I actually looked up what happens at the end of the series, and honestly, I'm not impressed. So those were most of my worst books of the year. Tell me down below, what was your worst book of the year? Please don't be afraid to let your opinion fly. You definitely won't be hurting any feelings here. This is a safe place. So give this video a big thumbs up for me because it helps me out so much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every single week. Go ahead and follow me on my social media. I am at Holly Hearts Books on Instagram and at Holly Niece on Twitter. And until we meet again, happy reading.